Welcome to Bill's Bridge Corner, Monday, November 18th, 2013, Class 26, Third Hand Play, Part 2. Today we go back to the defense, and I'm putting you in third seat. Your partner makes the opening lead against the contract, dummy plays, and it's your turn to play. There is so much to be learned in this area of the game that we have to spend considerable time here. Let's go back to the basics. Here we go. Remember the old adage, third hand high, and that's true unless. Here we continue to cover exceptions. Here we go. Normally, third hand is to play the highest card you have, but there are many exceptions. The first one we covered in Class 22. If you hold a sequence, always play your lowest equal, and by lowest equal, we mean anything that includes cards that may be higher than the dummy cards but not played to the trick. And you do that if you don't understand it. Second case. Partner leads low, dummy has an honor, but he plays low, and you have a higher honor than the dummy. Memorize. If you have another card, 9 or higher, play that card instead, if no trump. If it's a suit contract, you need the 10 in order to play that single card. We'll have an example here right now. Save an honor to cover dummy. The key point is honors were made to cover other honors. That's how you promote your honors and your partner's number in your honor. The opponents are in a no-trump contract. Partner leads to 2. Dummy comes down with Queen 9 third of the suit. And you have King 10 third. Declare calls for the 4. Your king is here to cover the queen. So don't play the king. You have the 10, play the 10. If your club were king 8-3, you want to play the king. And of course, as I mentioned before, if it's a suit contract, you need the 10. Here, if you have king 9 third, you play the 9. But in a suit contract, you need the 10 in the play. Otherwise, play the honor. Dummy has a higher honor, which is another case. Case 3. When partner leads low, dummy has an honor higher than your honor. If he plays low, third hand plays as if there were no honor in dummy at all. Here's an example. The partner leads the 2. Dummy comes down and he has a king. You have a queen. It's lower than the king. So when dummy plays low, you play the queen. Third hand high. A regular play was made if the king were not in dummy. Another rule. You have a doubleton honor. 2 honors. With doubleton ace king or doubleton king queen in third seat. You break the rule and play the highest honor instead of the lowest honor. The ace from the ace king or king from king queen. Why? Once you win the trick, and the assumption is you will win the trick, if you win the trick, read this one carefully, if you know you will win the trick, you play the higher honor. Why? Because when you lead the other honor at the next trick, partner knows that you are exhausted with the suit. You may overtake and lead the third round or left, for example. But he knows you're holding in the suit if you play this way. Here's another rule. You have a sequence, but dummy wins the trick. When playing third hand from a sequence, when dummy takes the trick, play your highest at equals if you can afford it. Here's an example. Partner leads the 4. Dummy plays the ace. you have a solid sequence from the queen on down. It won't hurt you to play your highest honor, not the lowest honor. When you play the queen, you're telling partner you have a jack or a singleton. You're telling partner you have additional honors. If you play the 9, he'd have no way of knowing. That is why you do it. Why? Partner can usually figure out what happened. He assumes that you have the honor directly below the honor you play. Of course, if you can't afford to play that honor, your sequence isn't long enough or strong enough, don't do it. It's if you can afford to, underline the word if you can afford to. The rule of 11 is something that you learn early on in your bridge career. There are several different rules, the rule of 7, the rule of 11. Here's the rule of 11. It's simple mathematics. You are told if you're on lead and you're going to lead from an honor, not a sequence, you lead 4th best. If partner assumes that you are leading 4th best, then here's what happens. Subtract the pip, the value of the card from that was led from 11. Let this be the number X. Count the number of cards higher than the pip your partner led in the dummy and in your hand. Let that number be Y. This is a class in algebra 101. Compute X minus Y. This number is the number of cards in the declarer's hand higher than the pip level. Sound complicated? It's simple. Here's an example. Whenever partner breaks a new suit with a low card, apply the rule of 11 before you play. Memorize and make it a habit to do it all the time. Here's an example. Why lead 4th best? Because it assists partner in the play. Because he applies the rule of 11. Here we go. Partner leads to 6. Apply the rule of 11. Step 1. Compute 11 minus partner's lead. 11 minus 6 is 5. Step 2. Count the cards in the dummy higher than the 6. There are 2, the king and the 10. Add the cards in your hand higher than the 6 in your hand. The ace, jack, and the 9. That's 3. Add that together. 2 plus 3 is 5. Now, X minus Y. 5 minus 5 is 0. Declarer has no cards, 0 cards higher than 6. What does that mean? It means if you cover the dummy, you win the trick. That's exactly what it means. So if dummy plays low, play the 9. Here's how it would be. In the last hand, here's the distribution. Partner led 4th best. Dummy played low, you played the 9, and guess what? He won the trick. If you play the jack, the trick won. Dummy will end up taking the club trick. Don't give him a trick. Play the 9. By the way, if partner leads 4th best, the declarer can do the same thing. A good declarer will apply the rule of 11 to your partner's lead. And remember this as declarer, because what's good for the goose is good for the gander. The rule of 11 should be something that defenders do automatically as a reflex. Tomorrow, we're going to get back into bidding, and we're finally going to jump into the water, if you will. We need to look at the overall system, the bidding structure, in the largest sense, because we haven't learned the communication of bidding. Bidding is a language, and you need to learn the language, but are we doing French, Italian, English, or German? It depends. You and your partner, I hope, are on the same wavelength. You speak the same language. See you tomorrow.